these are my favorite winter palettes. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be all about my top 10 favorite eyeshadow palettes for the winter time. I normally do this video in December, but didn't quite manage to do that yet because there was lots of other fun content that I wanted to get up in December. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna squeeze it in January, and there is no better time. We've had a wonderful week of snow. I say wonderful. I did have to work from home all week and teach online lessons again, which was such a throwback to a different day and age, you could say, because we had so much snow that the Dutch government couldn't really keep the roads clean and nobody could really go anywhere. So my job was like, we're not going to risk anyone's lives. Stay home. This goes for teachers as well as students. So it was a lot of working from home. I was able to build a snowman during one of my breaks though, which I'll pop a picture up on the screen so you can see. So yeah, there is no better time for me to be talking about it. It is a very gloomy, rainy day today. There is like a thawing spell today. So a lot of the snow is now gone, but it's going to freeze this weekend as well. So when you're watching this video, we're going to have a very, very cool day today. So it's proper winter here. So no, what better time for me to be filming this video than right here, smack in the middle of a true winter that we haven't seen in years. We haven't had this amount of snow in over a decade, I believe. So it's been quite the ride. So yeah, I have 10 palettes here for you today. So let's chat about those things. And I also love, like, the makeup look is also quite wintry that I did today. It's a little bit sultry, but I played with one of my new eyeshadow palettes that I got in the UK. So this is the Stardust palette by MUA. You can see that really beautiful bluish purple sheen as well. Went with a bit of a vampy lip. I'm really loving it. So let me see, what do I have for you? Let's talk about the small things first, and then we'll sort of work our way up. I have a definite true favorite when it comes to winter palettes, so I'll show you that one last. But I have these two like smaller things for you as well. This one is by Glamshop. This is the Cool Glam Quad. They still have this up on their website as far as I know. And if you don't know, Glamshop is a Polish indie brand that I think actually they're sold in drugstores in Poland. If you're Polish, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Glamshop does have displays in stores in Poland. It's not the only reason why I want to go to Poland one day. There are a couple of places in Poland that I would love to visit, but it's not in the cards anytime soon. But yeah, if I were to ever visit Poland and this brand is still around, I will definitely have to check them out. As far as I know, they're not really sold anywhere in stores beyond Poland though. You have to go to Poland to see them in a store. So I've mainly bought from them through their website, and because I'm in the EU, it's quite affordable, and they do loads of really good cool toned options, and this Cool Glam Quad is no different. They do a really intense shimmer formula. They also do a lot of singles. So in case you would like to try that, then I can highly recommend. I have a bunch of their singles in my makeup collection as well, but they also do little quads and different other types of palettes. The only thing you need to know about this brand is that they do have eyeshadow on the website that's always limited edition. You sometimes have to dig a little bit. It's like hidden away. It says limited edition eyeshadow palette. So all of their eyeshadow palettes are sort of while stocks last, I feel, and then they never really bring them back. But they do renditions that can do a similar thing sometime, and this Cool Glam palette is just really perfect for the winter time. I don't become more cool toned as winter progresses, but I do feel, oh no! Did you see that? That eyeshadow is now all over my couch. Oh no, it just clean fell out. Can I pick it up? Oh, I don't think I can pick it up. Hold on, I need to do some eyeshadow surgery first. Okay, I'm gonna have to be very careful with this because it did fall out. As you can see, it's all cracked. I'm gonna see if I can like repress it into the pan properly. I don't have time for that right now, but I'm gonna have to fix it tomorrow. I have had this happen to some of my Glamshop singles as well over time, where the shadow falls out of the pan. The only reason why it cracked though is because I was holding it up over my couch, but other times it has happened while it was like in the packaging, and I can just slide it back in and I press it down a little bit and it's fine. This is only now a little bit broken because of it falling out on my couch, but yeah. That does happen with some Glamshop singles, do know that. This is the first time this has happened to me to any of their eyeshadow that's in a palette, though. It's happened to the singles, which is why I haven't bought any more of their singles in the past couple of years, because it has happened to not just one, but like a couple. But I do feel like this palette, sort of like these quads, are very much like they just took a couple of their singles and put them into packaging. But with their palettes, I feel they're a little sturdier, and those have never fallen out on me. Even the ones I've had for years, like some of my older palettes, have never done this to me. So yeah, this is the Cool Glam by Glamshop. I still really like it. It's good quality eyeshadow for sure, but they can be fragile. The second palette I have to show you is this smaller guy. This is by Flower Nose. This is their Moonlight Mermaid series. I don't believe this is still around. It has beautiful packaging, as you can see. Reminds me of like a Disney castle almost. And this was sent to me in PR by YESSTYLE back when I first received one of their boxes. I think it was like, hey, you had some people place orders with your code in the month of your birthday, so you're getting a box. And this was actually on my wish list at the time, so they must have seen that, and then they send it to me, which I'm still really happy with. And I think this is perfect for the winter time because you get this really beautiful, almost like periwinkle baby blue, a beautiful greeny bluey teal, and then there's just some cooler toned neutrals to sort of play together. 2 really beautiful shimmers in here, 3 really high performing mattes, beautiful packaging to boot. So what's not to love? It is a little bit of a one-trick pony, which is actually my gripe with some of the other Flower Nose palettes I've tried as well, because they very often offer you like one look in a palette, and then that's what you get. But if you want that sort of ice queen, icy sort of vibe, then this is a really good option. We're sticking with the Asian stuff for a bit because Cheeryep is another Asian beauty brand. They're from China, just like Flower Nose, and they are a brand I discovered last year, and I'm going to be trying some more of their palettes really, really soon because I was able to pick up some more things through YESSTYLE. That's where I find most of my Asian beauty brands. Whenever I want like K-beauty skincare, or if I want to try more K-beauty, J-beauty, C-beauty brands, I go through YESSTYLE. So that's why I have a code with them. It's always linked in the description box down below in case you want to get 5% off of your next order. But yeah, that's where I got mine. But I think this one, Steel Heart, I got through YESSTYLE. I did get them from different places, and I do feel that this brand is not only called something differently in different places, their palettes have also slightly different names in different places, and they have different price point in different places. So it does help with Cheeryep to have a bit of a shop around to see what things might look like for you depending on where you live. For me here in the Netherlands, YESSTYLE has been my sort of best way to get it. And also with Cheeryep, not all of their palettes are priced the same because some of them have more special shimmers in, and those tend to be a little bit more expensive than, for instance, what I'm holding up here. This is the Steel Heart, and the Steel Heart I think is around like 25 euros or something like that. That's what I paid for it. And this is really, really pretty. It's like, again, more cooler tone palette with some pops of pinky and like mauve tones. So essentially what you're getting in here is like something a little bit more taupey, a little bit more mauvey. Then we go into the pinks, and then you have some really nice sort of gray tones over here. So it's giving you a full cool tone spectrum. There are only 4 true shimmers in here. The black does have a little bit of a sparkle to it, which I do enjoy. The sparkle does show up when you use it as, for instance, as an eyeliner. I don't use black shadow as like for deepening up the crease, and this is a very intense black, so don't make that mistake. But overall, it's really nice, fair-skinned, and all of that. And that was something that I was trying to say when my Glamshop eyeshadow fell out of its pan. I tend to go pretty fair in the winter time, like around this time of year, like second half of February, most of February, going into March, and then around April, I feel my skin tone starts to look a little differently. That's why I always say I'm like cool to neutral, because I definitely do have a cool undertone to my skin, but it becomes more noticeable as my skin goes pasty pale, and we have different lighting as well in the winter time, of course, and I feel that really affects what looks good on me. And a palette like this in the wintertime, for me, with my super fair skin, is just absolute perfection. But as you can see, I can get away with things that are more high contrast as well. I blame the dark brown eyes, and also naturally darker brows. I'm not like a traditional blonde in the sense that I also have lighter eyes and lighter like brow hairs and stuff. This is pretty much my own hair color. I haven't had it colored in, I think, months now. Whatever you see that's lighter has gotten lighter over summer because my hair tends to be like a little bit darker at the root, but then as it is exposed to light, it goes a very light shade of blonde. And that's why I do get some highlights added to my hair from time to time, but just to get it to look more even. So not to get it highlighted, because they never really put anything in my ends. It's really just to lighten it up and to make it look more even, because I tend to wear my hair like this, like where my parting is, or with my hair up. So there are certain elements of my hair that do get lighter from the lighting, but just by sunlight, I mean. And other parts of my hair do not. So if I want it to look even and a little bit more polished, I do get highlights from time to time just to get it up here to just look a little bit like less funky, because it goes looking quite funky if I don't do that. So, but yeah, most of this is like just my natural hair, especially like this. Like, do you see that very light streak here? This is from having gone to Japan. If I spend any time outside in the summer, my hair goes a almost white blonde. So yeah, there's that. Fun. I'm like a true chameleon. I go a little bit darker hair-wise in the wintertime, and in the summer it like brightens up, and then my skin starts to look a little bit like, I don't tan at all. Like, I don't like get a tan. I tend to just burn and I'm pink and that's it. There's like no in between for me. So I don't really get a tan, but I definitely feel like with the lighting being a different quality in summer and my hair lightening up, my skin starts to look differently as well. And that's why I feel that in the summer, if I wear warm tones at all, it's like the season where I can get away with it, you know? So I really feel like my skin sort of operates on this spectrum, and it's really difficult for me to pinpoint what it is that I am. That's why I always say I'm cool to neutral, because cool tones look best on me, I find, over warm tones, but I can get away with both because it's sort of like, I'm sort of like in the middle somewhere. I'm not like, but yeah, like a cooler tone gray sweater. Like, this is my content sweater. That's how I think of it. Like, when I put this on and I'm like swatching different lipsticks, everything will look right on me. It just does. So yeah, I can get away with a lot of things for that reason. But yeah, my skin is a little bit of a chameleon, and my hair is too. So there's definitely that. But that's a beautiful palette. And these softer tones, because I do go a little bit more fair-skinned in the winter time than I am in the summertime, I feel like in the summer I can perhaps get away with a little bit more contrast, even though I like this look as well for me. I do like softer things very often. A classic that I'm like, I need to write this down after filming this video to include it in my palettes to go back to video for February, but the Raven's Castle by Makeup by Lisa. This is a UK-based, very, very small indie brand. I've heard quite a people like complaining in the comments sometimes when I've shown this palette that they never got their order. But this seems to be the kind of brand, at least that was the impression when I bought mine, that it's like one lady who's like an MUA, and she sort of like makes palettes on the side. So when she has them, and it can take months for things to be sent out. You have to be very patient with this brand if you're looking into them. So don't hold it against them. This is really someone who's like doing this as a hobby more so than like a serious business. So don't compare it to like other indie brands, because they're not anything like it. But here is what that palette looks like. It's really pretty, very whimsical, still very impactful. It goes very light, but you can also very easily build these up and make them look darker. So you can really take this from the daytime to nighttime. It has some really beautiful, like, whimsical shimmers here in the bottom half of the palette. It's got a beautiful silver in as well. I'm usually not a big fan of silvers, but if they have a little bit of a tarnished look to them and they're not too bright, I like them a little bit better than when they are super duper stark. So yeah, this is a beautiful palette. I still really like mine. I just need to go back to it again and use it again. So when I was selecting it for this video, I was like, this and the Cloud 9 and also my, what was the other palette? There was a third palette that made me go like, oh, I need to use that again very, very soon. So yeah, some cooler tone, lighter things for February is where my brain is going currently. But winter doesn't mean we have to like put all the colorful things away. We can definitely go in for color, and even though this is called the Dark Dreamscape by Bella Beauty Bar with a light side and a dark side, I found that this wasn't as intimidating in usage as it looks in the pan. So here is what the palette looks like. It has some really beautiful shimmers. Yes, it has some deeper tones, but these are really great as liners, adding accents and things like that. It really nicely works, okay? And we all know this shimmer here in the middle is absolute life. It's really, really beautiful. And that's something that I've seen Bella Beauty Bar doing in almost every palette that I've tried from them so far, is that there will be this one shimmer that is different from any sort of shifty shade you've ever seen. And it's that. So that's really beautiful. And if you're wondering, but I want everything to be cool toned, just cover these two up. You can see how beautiful this is. It's essentially pinky purple turquoisey shades. Really beautiful. It's got quite a lot of pastel leaning shades in here as well. So it's light enough to get a very light look, but you can pull this into a more grungy, colorful side as well if that's what you're going for. So I think that the Dark Dreamscape is beautiful for the winter time because it just has all those colorful things in that you might want to do for like a very whimsical sort of fairy-esque look. I also enjoy the Après-Ski Chamonix Après-Ski by Nomad. They came out with this last year, and I'm really on a Nomad kick. Like, I don't need any eyeshadow palettes currently, but when I go back to like wanting to buy some things again, I think I do want to try their Polar Express palette, which was their Christmas palette last year, I believe. Possibly the Pacific Northwest, I think it's called. And I was seeing the Fairy Tale Europe palette in Angelica's palette ranking of the year. I was like, ooh, that does look really pretty because it's got a lot of shimmers in. And I sort of like rationalized it at the time as thinking, oh, I don't really need that in my life because I don't need any more eyeshadow, right? But now that I'm like, I've tried this palette this year, I really loved it. I really like the look of that Christmas market palette that I will be testing out later this month for you. So that's going to be in my eyeshadow palette review video for you guys. So I'm really digging Nomad at the minute. I'm like, maybe I should just buy some of these older palettes so I can like have some more thoughts on them. I don't know, but I have also like some Nomad palettes color story wise didn't quite work for me. So those I've decluttered over time. So I'm not sure yet. I'm still a bit on the fence. Not sure what I should do. So this is how my brain works, right? I will see something and then I go like, oh, do I need that though? I never buy anything straight away. I will like write it on my little wish list and then go like, okay, can I make some budget free for this? Yes or no? And sometimes like, this is why I use the wish list. Like sometimes after like a month or two, I feel like, oh, I didn't really need that anyways. And then I delete it again from the wish list and I never end up buying it. So I sort of do it that way. But yeah, we have the Nomad Chamonix Après-Ski. This is also one that I sat on for a while. This came out and I was like, is it just another like blue, green, purple palette? And what are these berries doing here? But then in practice, I ended up buying it at the end of March, I think, because I was finally like, okay, I can like buy a new palette again, and I haven't tried Nomad in a while. And I did really enjoy this. This is really pretty, and it's great for the winter time. Again, this is the kind of color story that I love for the winter time to begin with. But these things that look berry in the pan, I think it's because it's got this icy white background that it makes them look a little bit more berry than they actually are. They are beautiful pinky tones. I'm not a lover of pink eyeshadow on myself, but these pinks, those were beautiful. The greens are lovely. These periwinkle blues are lovely. It just has some really stunning things in. There isn't a neutral in sight in here, but if you like colorful things, or let's say you love neutrals and you want to try something more colorful, but you don't want it to be like dark dreamscape punchy in your face, then I think that this can be a nice sort of transitioning palette to get used to colors on yourself, because these aren't going to be like super punchy in your face. They are a little bit more muted down. There is a little bit of brightness to them, but nothing is too stark. And especially if you have a cool undertone, I think you will enjoy this. Another palette which I think was actually launched at the wrong time of year is the Dancing Lights from Gloss Gods. This is their Aurora Lights inspired palette. Gloss Gods is another European-based indie brand. They're from Sweden though, so the Aurora lights make it very, very apt for them to have a palette like that. So I was super happy to see them do this. But they launched this in May. Why was this a May palette release? Did someone explain this to me? Like, this is such a winter color story for me. Again, you got some pastels in here. There's some beautiful multi-chromes in here. And there's just a couple of like really sparkly, flaky things as well that they have been doing for some time. There is some depth as well, but nothing is black here. I feel like very often brands will put blacks into palettes like this, but they've gone for a navy and a dark purple, which I do enjoy. This isn't my favorite Gloss Gods palette. I have tried different things by them that I've liked better. And also from this brand, I have a new palette in called the Starry Skies, which they launched over Black Friday, that I'm going to be testing out this month as well for you. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's very cool toned and sparkly and fun looking, so I can't wait to try that one. But I like their 12 pans a little bit better than I do this. Also because those were a little bit more affordable. And with these shades, I always struggle with greens like this. I don't know, it's not just this brand. I've tried Glam Lights, like Birthday Cake palette when they had that out. That also had a turquoisey shade like that in that did that for me. Even in the Ocean Jewel and the Bella Beauty Bar palettes, I've struggled with shades like this. It's almost as if there's something in the undertone of these shades that doesn't really gel well with my complexion. And then when I start blending them, they all end up looking murky. And that happened with this green as well. So that green shade in the middle, not my favorite, but the rest of it was actually really pretty. I would have liked like one neutral. Like if this white, because this white doesn't really add much to it, it's just a white with a blue flip. If this had been like a cooler tone neutral to tie that, like a gray would have worked really well for me in this palette, I think. So it's not perfection, but the color story is definitely fun for winter. Now, an oldie but a goodie that I would have featured if it's not hiding away in a makeup memory box is the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar. Who doesn't remember my love affair for that palette? I tried it again last year though in January. I always went back to it in January time because I just love that color story so much for the winter time. But I felt it wasn't the same in usage, so I felt it was expiring, so I didn't feel safe using it again this year. So that's safely tucked away as a memory in my makeup memory box. But a palette that I felt was pretty similar to that gives it similar vibe to the Too Faced Chocolate Bar is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. Long since discontinued as well, I do apologize, but you know, there was just a point in time where palettes were really good. This has a rosy tone section. There's some warmth here in the bottom. And then you get these like turquoisey, again, periwinkle kind of shades. This plays together really well. You can sort of, this is more like end of winter going into spring though, which I felt the Too Faced Chocolate Bar didn't do as much for me. But that palette also had these like peachy tones in. There were a couple of random peach tones in the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar that I did enjoy, and I do like them in here as well. But I feel like this is a little bit more saturated color story-wise, so for me this is more like winter going into spring, because I can get a wintry look out of this. If I, for instance, stick to this pink and like the purples that are in here, maybe pull in some of the blues and like this like white sort of shimmer thing, then it can really work. But I can also do something really soft and romantic if I stick to like the rosy things. So for like February, Valentine's Day kind of looks, this works really well too, which is why it really slots into the wintertime for my brain. But this is a beautiful color story till this day. Something that I haven't used in a long time though. Maybe for like February or March, I should select it again. This is a beautiful color story though. I'm really happy I still have mine. And we're almost there. I still have this one for you, my Bella Beauty Bar Realm of Fairies. This was their collaboration palette with Sassy Fairy. And this is in my current Shop My Stash for January as a palette to go back to. Because if there is a whimsical, beautiful, all cool toned color story out in the market today, it's this one. What I have said a lot about why I love this palette so much, this was easily in my top 10 of like all the palettes I tried in 2025. This, it isn't only cool toned, it actually has so many beautiful undertones in here. It's essentially gray, blue, and purple. That's sort of the colors you're getting. But with a lot of indie brands, whenever they do shifty shades, the shifts end up pulling warm tones. So it will look very icy in the pan, but then when you see the shift, it shifts peachy gold or pink to gold, which is beautiful, but we already have a lot of those shades. And I feel that's something that indie brands are missing out on, is cool toned shifty shades. And these shifty shades are all cool toned. They almost look like you're under black light, you know, that sort of UV light, sort of weird glow that you get when you're under a black light. It gives you that effect, but without the black light. That's how I feel about it. So this is absolutely stunning. A lot of the, like, especially this shade here. This shade here I love. It's almost like this holographic sort of ultraviolet, silver to blue to purple sort of vibe. This one as well, this has a touch of green running through it, but never ever does it go into like the peachy realm. It does have a pink flash, but it never goes into that peachy gold that I don't enjoy all that much. This is like a beautiful, almost like, if you see like the reflection on an icy lake, that's what it reminds me of. So this is a beautiful color story. I really enjoy this, especially for the shimmers. If I ever had to declutter this because it was like on the verge of expiring, I would pull the shimmers out of this because that's the reason why I love this one so much. But the ultimate winter palette, of course, till this day, Winter Wonderland by Cosmic Beauty. This is also currently in my Shop My Stash because I just want to use this all over my face. These blues, greens, and purples are perfection for the winter time. This is a little punchier than, for instance, the après-ski palette from Nomad. This is boom, pigment, in your face, shifty shades, all that jazz. And this is what I mean with like cooler tone palettes having warm shifts. This shade right here, it looks like it's going to be like a blue, but you can already see that purple. And then look at how orange it flashes. That's the only downside to this palette, I feel, is that the shifty shade, the other shifty shades doesn't do it. That's like a blue, green, purple sort of shifty shade, so that's fine. But that one I feel is like the worst offender, because if I put that all over my face, it's gonna look orange. It's not gonna look, like it's not gonna look green. Like it's stuck in this row with these like tealy turquoisey shades. This is my favorite shimmer in the entire palette. You can sort of tell from how I've used it, I guess. So yeah, this has some beautiful shades in. I really think this is the king of winter palettes. That's what I feel the Cosmic Beauty palette definitely represents for me. And that's why I want to use it again this month. So if you don't know anything about this channel, every month I review a couple of new eyeshadow palettes for you. But I always like going back to old favorites, do some looks with them again, and do a video where I share my thoughts on, do I still love these palettes, yes or no? And it's a great way to get more, to rotate through my eyeshadow palette collection and like try some more things. So I usually do it that way. So yeah, this is a palette I could not get, I could not wait for it to be January, because already like midway through December, when I was still working with my Shop My Stash for December, I was like, oh, I want to use the Cosmic Beauty palette. And then I'm like, yeah, for January, I'm going to select it. So can't wait to do one or two looks with this one again. And that's it. Those were the eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to share with you in today's video, my favorite winter palettes. Do leave a comment down below if you want to share your favorite winter palettes. I would love to know. And type in any name of these palettes here on the channel or on my blog, and you will be able to find reviews with looks and swatches and close-ups and all that. I know a lot of people want those things in the same video as that I'm showing the palette, but I'm a teacher on the side. I don't always have time for those things, so if I have a video already up, I'm gonna refer you there. I don't mean it in any negative way. It's not because I'm lazy or not trying to do it, but editing that is just going to take too much time, and I don't have time to be swatching all of my eyeshadow palettes all the time either. So there's that. So there is content like that up there. So if you do want to see, then you can check those out. I do make videos here regularly on the channel all about eyeshadow palettes, and I post 4 times a week all about makeup and beauty on here. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more, I would love to have you here. If you do want to see more personal content such as books, fashion, as well as some vlogs from time to time, those are on my other channels. So check out Floating in Books. The link is in the description box down below. If you want a little bit more by me, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and all of those links are also in the description box down below, so you can find me wherever. And if you want like an overview of what it is that I'm doing, then the blog is still there somewhere. So thanks so much for watching me here today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, subscribe, and I hope to see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.